Hi all you lovely kings, queens, and in-betweens, my name is Elaine, and today I'm going to be discussing Unison League's new Dimension Wars event. Since this is the first time we've experienced this event, I'm mainly going to be sharing my initial thoughts and impressions. The story is as follows. You and your crew arrive in Homa Fort, where you notice a massive hole in the sky. After some deliberation, Lord Falsa gives you a ring on your comp stone and thanks you for coming, only to let you know that he isn't entirely sure what's happening either. Super helpful, my lord. Since everyone in the land is clueless, you and your crew are asked to investigate because of the monsters emanating from the hole in the sky. When a massive beastie finally appears, you and your CPU battle bots are forced to roll out and are launched into another battle to save the land. Like many other events that have come before it, Dimension Wars is an event which presents quests meant to challenge those who take it on. The challenge, should you choose to accept it, comes with its own set of rules meant to raise the difficulty level of these quests. While the event raises your max HP by 300%, it only allows the use of water elemental unison attacks and prohibits the reuse of unison attacks, even if all of your inner demons have been unleashed. Many of the enemies you encounter on these quests will inflict you with Scorching, a special status ailment that decreases your skill activation rate and causes you to take damage every time you use an ability. It can be removed with Circle Innocence, however, from the Cleric's 7th ring. Since this initial event features fire monsters, I imagine we'll face encounters in the future that feature the other elemental types, which will in turn adjust which elemental unison attack type you're allowed to use, whichever has the elemental advantage over the current monster type being featured. It may also adjust what the monsters inflict you with most often. Since this initial Dimension Wars event features fire monsters, you're going to want to equip as much water gear as possible. This will reduce the damage you take from enemies and increase your damage output if you're a DPS character. If you don't have a full lineup of water gear, that's okay. Just avoid using wind gear as that has an elemental disadvantage against fire and will decrease your damage output and your defensive capabilities. Like all events, this one features a spawn, which drops gear specifically designed to help you complete these quests. In this case, they're known as Water DW Hero Gear. They reflect both physical and magical damage taken, nullify both miasma and scorching, and have their activation rates increased against fire enemies. It also scales with the number of water elemental defensive gear you're sporting. While a great set of gear to sport for this event, I don't imagine it'll be cheap to spawn and would suggest that free-to-play players save their gems for the coming holiday season as opposed to trying to spawn for this gear. When another Dimension Wars event drops, a new spawn featuring the gear that has the elemental advantage should drop alongside it. Finally, the gear you can acquire exclusively from this event, the Burning Eye gear, is interesting because of its skill, which is known as Empty Vessel, which allows you to obtain a random skill by using a special item. This creates a fun variant to the gear, but could be frustrating for people who don't get lucky with their random skill. Most interesting to me, however, is the fact that it has 5 possible infusions, on par with purchased gear as opposed to 4 max infusions, which is typical of events, allowing you to bring that skill up to a max of 7. Its stats are, however, a bit lower than your average purchased gear from what I can tell. Ultimately, if you choose to take on these quests, it's important to ensure you have a balanced team equipped with elemental advantage gear and monsters, or you're far more likely to struggle. Anything that helps recover cost, boost your unison gauge, and provide buffs should be particularly beneficial since cost allows you to do the things you need to. Monsters apply a range of abilities that could benefit your team in endless ways and give a struggling team a breather, and buffs buff you and your team. And that concludes my little review, my initial thoughts and impressions on Unison League's new Dimension Wars event. What did you think of what I had to say? Did I leave anything out? And what do you think of this event if you've tried it out? Let me know down below in the comments. I always like to know what you kings, queens, and in-betweens think. And if you like what you saw here today, please smash that like button until it's blue, subscribe, ring that bell so you'll always know what's up, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye guys!
Hi, Tisha Valenza, aka Poison Ivy, and you've just been watching King's Entertainment Reviews. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.